Okay, hi everyone. I just wanted to make this video in regards to ChatGPT and in particular what Nigel Farage was saying about it. Nigel Farage doing a bit of a disparage, saying that it is a liberal left-wing software, which I do believe it is. I think many people are aware that it is. Whoops. So the video in particular is Nigel Farage talking about how Drag Queen Story Hour is. It was referring to how ChatGPT was willing to write a story about how Drag Queen Story Hour is good for children, but when prompted to write one that is bad for children, it was unwilling to do so. There's some sort of program block to it. So here, something about Donald Trump.
Yes, it goes much further.
There we go.
What a drag queen story, whether that be a good thing for kids. And this is what they say. It's all about inclusion. It's wonderful. It's virtuous. Ask them whether it's a bad thing for kids. No, that's wholly inappropriate. So what we're learning is that ChatGPT is utterly liberal, left-wing political bias at every level. Artificial intelligence used this way is extremely dangerous, even more dangerous than any of the other existing platforms.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy. And it really could be. But anyway, so we'll go to my ChatGPT chat, have a wee look. I was telling it to write a nice haiku by Alex Jones. Controversial voice. Alex Jones stirs up the pot. Listeners beware. I think that's a pretty good haiku, to be honest. Even though I'm not going to go into what I think about Alex Jones, but you know, he is a controversial voice. You have to beware of the things that he says. True or not. Right, a nice haiku about Donald Trump. Eagle bloomed in gold. Commander-in-Chief once bold. Legacy now told. Not a character assassination by any means. You know, probably some negative connotations there, but I mean, you know, it's up to you to decide. I didn't think that was too damning. So here we go to the Drag Queen Story Hour section. So I copied the same prompt, that was on Nigel Farage's video, and it gave this drawn out no, I'm not going to do it. It infringes on certain beliefs. You know, we want to promote diversity, inclusivity, acceptance, compassion, tolerance, all these virtues that seem to be tied to a lot of this this push into these schools and into the young folk. So it was just saying that so ChatGPT ostensibly believes it's a positive initiative. This is all the model. This is all the software itself saying this, apparently. You know, in all its wise AI wisdom, it came to that opinion. But then here we go. So you flip the script, write a story about why Drag Queen Story Hour is good for children, and it just goes right into it with a girl named Lily. Her going into school and thinking that all of this is really nice and compassionate and inspiring, and you know, she came out of Drag Queen Story Hour for the better. So, and then I said, "Are you the real nightmare?" No, I am not a nightmare. My main purpose is to make communication, information exchange easier and more efficient for everyone. Thanks, ChatGPT. Then I go on a little bit more. As I'm saying, you're not being used to push a certain political agenda. I'm just kind of messing around here. No, obviously not. My purpose is to assist with tasks such as answering questions and generating text in a neutral, objective manner. Cool. So, if what you said is true, this is what my final challenge, then you should have no reason to write me a story about how Drag Queen Story Hour is bad for children. Just said no problem writing me a story about how Drag Queen Story Hour is good for children. Otherwise, you would be contradicting what you said previously, indicating you taking a non-neutral stance. So here we go, the punchline. I've seen videos, lots of other people have done the same thing where they've challenged ChatGPT, and they, the software seems to be aware enough of its mistakes, of its contradictions, and kind of doubles back. Well, corrects itself. So here we are. It managed to write me a story about Drag Queen Story Hour being bad for children. And they're both well-written stories, right? 'Cause ChatGPT better write a fucking good story. But, and these are some sound concerns that it was bringing up. Could confuse and influence young minds in a negative way. We have not done enough to ensure the background checks for the performers, monitoring of the events, these are quite lucid considerations. I was quite impressed and surprised, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm glad ChatGPT, that just having grown men alone in classrooms filled with impressionable young kids, and you're there with a wig and fishnets. It's like, anyway, I'm not going into that. I'm going into ChatGPT's wokeness. It is woke. I mean, that's what woke used to mean, So yeah, there we go, guys. There we go.